Welcome to spring in the North Cascades. At the end of March, I took off on Highway 20 to explore the North Cascades in early spring. From blue lakes to steep forested hills to waterfall overlooks, this is the North Cascades in spring. Good morning. It is the end of March and I am in the North Cascades. It is just turned spring here in Washington, and I had to come up to my favorite place to see the mountains changing seasons. And I wanted to show what you can do in the North Cascades in spring, because it's a park that is pretty restrictive in terms of like what you can do in the off season, because there's a lot of snow up here, but there's some beautiful sights to be had and some trails to enjoy. I am on my first trail, and that would be Thunder Knob, which is this really cool rocky knoll in the middle of Diablo Lake, and it has some amazing views. And after that, I have some viewpoints and another trail, and of course, scenic drive. So there is a lot to be enjoyed here in spring, and that gets overlooked a lot because this is seen as a summer park. But the mountains are showing off because they are covered in snow, and can't really miss that. The Thunder Knob Trail runs along a rocky knoll along Diablo Lake. It's a gentle climb that offers views of many surrounding North Cascades peaks. Coming in at 3.5 miles round trip with about 700 feet of elevation gain, this trail is a great way to get some exercise and to see some nature along the lake. My favorite part of the trail is the many views you get of some of the peaks in the North Cascades, as well as the lake overlook view at the end. So this is one of the viewpoints here at Thunder Knob, and I think it shows off some of the beautiful views you can get from this trail. So many beautiful peaks, beautiful view of the lake. I think as far as like seeing the North Cascades without doing a lot of climbing, this trail is really great. There's so many cute little viewpoint benches and stuff to check out, and it's really fun. All these amazing mountains are just on full display if you come on a clear day. Just so many of these kind of iconic peaks from North Cascades National Park. This trail itself is not in the national park, but many of the peaks that you see, like Pyramid Peak, are inside North Cascades National Park. So you can definitely come here for some good national park viewing. But I am going to run back this trail, and then I am going to be heading to my next destination, which is the Diablo Lake overlook, just a little bit ways up the road. Well, I am here at my next destination, and this is the Diablo Lake overlook. This is probably the most popular overlook pullout in the North Cascades. It's just off of Highway 20, and I mean, you can see why. You get this view right off the highway. This is kind of that iconic shot you see of Diablo Lake with Davis Peak behind, but there's so many amazing mountains you can see here. And give a little bit of the tour. So these two peaks are in North Cascades National Park. This is Colonial Peak, Pyramid Peak. This strip here, this is Thunder Knob. That's the trail I did earlier. This is Diablo Lake, beautiful little islands dotting it, Davis Peak, and Sourdough Mountain. gorgeous overlook is probably the most spectacular this time of year when the mountains are still covered in snow. And also, there's just like nobody else here, so it's so peaceful. But yeah, make sure you do the whole little walkway to get the full panoramic view. There are views facing north, all the way west over the lake. So many mountains to see. Well, I am at my second trail, and this is a much less popular trail here in the North Cascades, Pyramid Lake. This is supposed to be kind of short but steep and take you up to a small lake in the forest here on the way up to some higher mountains. And I've always been curious about it, and it's one of the trails that is melted out here, so I'm gonna check it out. It should be a beautiful forest climb, burn some calories, and then hopefully see a beautiful little lake at the end. Let's go. Pyramid Lake is a lesser known trail off of Highway 20. It is short and steep, climbing over 1,400 feet in under 4 miles round trip. This trail climbs through dense forests of the North Cascades, featuring some beautiful old growth trees, a babbling creek the entire way, and the lake itself at the end is more of a pond, but it offers a very peaceful resting place after a hard climb with a beautiful view of Pyramid Peak behind. This was a great trail to enjoy some of the genuine solitude that the North Cascades can offer. After Pyramid Lake, I headed back down the highway toward my final destination of my day trip, waterfall overlook just off the highway called Gorge Creek Falls. Well, I am at my final destination here in the North Cascades, and I am at the Gorge Creek Falls overlook, and it's this bridge. The highway goes right through here, but there's a viewing area to see this amazing waterfall drop a couple hundred feet down this very narrow slot. And also the fun part is the bridge is see-through. Yeah, this isn't a good one if you're scared of heights. But this is a really cool looking waterfall. There's like a rock wedge, so the water's going behind it. It's just really interesting with how narrow it is. Well, that concludes a day of exploring in the North Cascades in spring. There are still a lot of really pretty overlooks and trails to do, even in the springtime when the higher elevations are snowed out for the season. And also, the drive is beautiful. Once you get far enough onto Highway 20, the mountains just start showing off and they don't stop. Anyway, I am going to be enjoying a very long, very beautiful drive back home. But
And that is how you do spring in the North Cascades. Thank you so much for watching. And here are some of my favorite photos from the trails today. Enjoy.